Strater has the world's largest collection of American Victorian walnut antiques. And the reason that we have that collection started out with my grandmother, who was trying to persuade my mom to stay in Durango. She didn't want to stay here. She wanted to live in the big city. She wanted San Francisco and, culture. And my dad had been lassoed by my grandfather to come back and run the Strater, and my mom was a little disappointed about the whole thing. And so my grandmother, Marion Jarvis, said, well, look at what you have here. Why don't you have some fun and decorate some of these rooms as they were built with Victorian furniture and go out and find some things. And she thought, well, okay, well, why don't I do that? So they went to Atlanta to a hotel show. And while in Atlanta, my mom was out shopping and actually making the greater discovery. And she found this beautiful bed that's up in room 322, and it was in sort of dilapidated state. And they thought, well, maybe we should buy this and get enough for maybe 5 or 6 rooms. So they decided to cash in their airline ticket, and they rented a U-Haul truck, and they started driving back from Atlanta and with a bunch of furniture. And they got here and they put them in those 5 rooms. Well, everybody wanted those 5 rooms, and they were full all the time. And they thought, well, gee, this is kind of a sign. we should get more. And so they did. My dad was a pilot, so he got in the plane, and Floyd Gregg and Jim Gregg, who were with Gregg Flying Service here in town, went along with them, and they flew out and they landed the fixed base operators at each of these little towns, and they would rent the car and go in and find fun antiques, and they put it on their little map on the way home. So they bought as long as they could to figure out how much they'd fill a truck. So they drove back. Jim Gregg flew their plane back, and they just navigated through. So they made 3 trips this way. And then about that time, my wife Lori and I were in Kansas City, and we started making forays out into the Midwest. So St. Louis, Pocahontas, Illinois, Kansas City, all these fun little places. We'd hit the antique stores and buy all sorts of stuff. And when we'd fill up our entire garage, we'd call, and then Charles Schumacher, Charlie, would come out, and we'd get the truck all loaded up, and he'd drive it back. And we did that about 3 times. So it's been a family process all along, and a lot of fun. And that's how we got this large collection. It's just been a sign that this is what people want. And today, they still really appreciate what we've done. Every day I hear from customers about what an experience they have here at the hotel, that they feel like they're somewhere different, not just in a standard hotel, but they really feel what we're trying to do here.